At over $2,000 per square foot, Mill District Healdsburg is setting records for real estate in downtown Healdsburg. But what do you get for your money? And what is the attraction? And more importantly, is it worth the money? So why would you spend $4.5 million on a 3-bedroom apartment when you could buy an amazing place in downtown with your own pool? Or spend, $7.5 million on a 3-bed penthouse apartment when you could buy, or more likely even build, the most amazing home in downtown Healdsburg? With over 50% of the first phase sold, there must be more to Mill District than meets the eye. I often get asked, what is it that's attracting people from the Bay Area to Mill District? Or why would people who already have a house in Healdsburg buy one in Mill District? Every buyer has got their own story. Whether they're right for you depends on these 5 things. First of all, overall value for money and how important that is to you. Second, the access to shared amenities, and is that something that you really value? Third, are you looking for a turnkey new build product? Fourth, the importance of having your own outdoor space. And then fifth, having a home that is truly lock up and leave. You would expect the homes to be exceptional, but does the wine, food and cycling lifestyle make Mill District truly different from buying a place in downtown Healdsburg? Or is it just another high-end real estate development? So if you don't know me, my name is David Hargreaves, founder of Modern Living Sonoma. In just 3 years, I've become a top 5 agent in Healdsburg, helping over 50 people just like you from the Bay Area. But you don't care about me, so let's talk about Mill District and what it's got to offer. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it and subscribe to get more videos like this. As anyone who drives into Healdsburg from the south and heads towards Healdsburg Plaza, you can't help but notice it's not the most attractive entry to the city. Well, that's all about to change with the development of Mill District, a new high-end neighbourhood which over the next 6 months will start rising out of the ground. The developers of Mill District, a company called Replay Destinations, is famous for developing high-end ski resorts in places like Park City and luxury beach resorts in Hawaii and the Bahamas. And it's definitely got a very bold vision for Mill District to transform the gateway into Healdsburg. The goal is to create a new residential neighbourhood complete with retail units, a park, a hotel and a cycling clubhouse for use not just by the owners of the high-end residences, but also by people who live in Healdsburg. As the Mill District project starts to become reality, it's already noticeable that some of the retail units opposite the development have already started to attract new tenants, such as Quail and Conda, the awesome bakery set up by Single Thread alumni, as well as a new Hungarian gastropub which is on the way from the owners of Teaser, which is certainly a favourite of mine from the farmers market. To be honest, it's hard to believe that there's an empty site in Healdsburg just a couple of blocks from the plaza that is almost 10 acres. The site used to be one of 3 prominent lumber mills, New Forest, that operated for nearly 80 years. But in the 1920s, the logging industry took a backseat to the fruit canning and packing industries, and then re-emerged in the 1940s to coincide with an ever-increasing need for housing in the area. The mill has obviously long since disappeared as the wine industry has taken over. The developer, Replay Destinations, has partnered with Ulson Kundig to lead the conceptual design of the first phase, but it'll likely not be doing further phases as I understand it. One of the features of the first phases is the relationship between the residences and the heritage redwood trees that are being preserved and which will form a natural park within the development. The inspiration for the design very much comes from those redwoods, with weathered metals alongside concrete and warm wood, all of which play into the mill heritage of the site. The name of the first phase, Canopy, is taken from the sense created in the units on the 3rd and 4th floors, are very much living among the canopy of the redwoods. As someone who loves nature, I love nothing better than seeing trees through a large wall of glass. I think the connection between the trees and the living areas will be unparalleled given the homes are only a couple of blocks from the plaza. Another feature of the homes, a design aesthetic that Ulson Kundig is well known for, is the connection between the indoor and outdoor living spaces, trying to create very much seamless living experience when for the most of the homes you'll be living essentially in an apartment. The sense of the outside space will also not just stop at the edge of the balcony. The concept that Mill District is working on is to create a 10-acre garden. Perhaps this is a little bit of a stretch, but certainly the intent is there with pathways connecting, pocket orchards and fruit trees. It will be interesting to see to what extent the park with its heritage redwood trees will become a space that is enjoyed by local people as well as the actual residents. In addition to the residences, there'll also be a number of retail units as well as a 50-room boutique hotel, which will be operated by a hotel group that, as I understand it, is yet to be announced. And this will include a pool, concierge service, as well as all of the amenities you'd expect with a very, very high-end hotel. So what will the Mill District lifestyle be like? I've talked about the design of the homes and the connection to the outdoor spaces, which, to be honest, is what you'd expect from a development of this type in California and wine country in particular. However, in addition to the architect and the landscape architect, Mill District has formed a partnership with Kyle Connaughton of Single Thread, the 3-star Michelin restaurant. Single Thread is very much spreading its tentacles throughout Healdsburg with the new Little Saint vegan restaurant, as well as its farm shop on Dry Creek Road. The partnership between Mill District and Single Thread extends not just to Kyle's influence, but also that of his wife Katina, who oversees a Single Thread farm and farm shop, as well as to Single Thread's wine director. The Single Thread trio, head chef, head farmer and wine director, has given creative direction for the kitchens, the kitchen gardens, and also wine creation to help educate owners on wine and help them curate their own wine cellars. I mean, I do love the idea of such an acclaimed team giving input into the perfect kitchen design and organisation, and also input into the planting of the culinary garden. I'm sure the culinary garden will definitely be a lot more than a box of herbs out on the balcony. Of course, the residences have their own shared pool, which is for their exclusive use. The hotel is going to have its own separate pool. There will also be a fitness studio in the pool house, which will also double up as a demonstration kitchen, continuing the theme of bringing together the best of food, wine and architecture for the benefit of owners. The other important component of the lifestyle is the integration of cycling into the whole homeowner experience. But what is Mill District Velo? Ever since Mill District's inception, Replay Destinations definitely put cycling front and centre, recognising the importance that serious cycling has played as part of Healdsburg culture, probably since, further ago than wine. As someone who lives here and also loves cycling, it's easy to forget just how spoiled we are for cycling options. I mean, so much so that Bicycling magazine voted the roads around Healdsburg and Sonoma County as having the 7th best rides on earth. I mean, that's pretty amazing. Mill District's already started creating a strong following among keen cyclists with its Mill District Velo brand, for which former professional Tour de France rider Ted King is the ambassador. Every spring and fall, Mill District organises a series of rides bringing together cyclists from, to be honest, all over the country to ride some amazing routes and enjoy, great food and great wine. The vision for the cycling component of the Mill District lifestyle is definitely really exciting, with it trying to establish Mill District Velo as the cycling hub for Sonoma County with its own cycling clubhouse. The idea being that residents as well as non-residents, guided by the sporting director, can go on organised ride that will be planned and supported. I mean, this already happens to some extent with the organised rides in the fall and the spring, and also through some of the semi-organised rides that take place each month. I personally am really excited to see how this all unfolds. So let's talk a little bit about, who are the buyers for Mill District. According to the developers, over 50% of the units have been sold so far, with the majority being sold to people sort of in and around the Bay Area. Unlike Montage, which seems to be attracting people from further afield who are looking to buy into the Montage experience, it just so happens to be, Montage Healdsburg, Mill District buyers are generally people who are fixed on purchasing a place within Healdsburg. The buyers so far fall into a few different groups. Some are from San Francisco and the wider Bay Area purchasing their first property in Healdsburg, whereas others are from out of state looking to purchase a prized real estate asset. It's probably no surprise to hear that one of the penthouse buyers is from Manhattan, New York, looking for, that luxury apartment lifestyle in Healdsburg. The other typical buyer of Mill District already has a place in Healdsburg, maybe in Dry Creek Valley, and is looking for a place in town, either for friends or family, or maybe more likely to have somewhere they can move to when living the rural life gets a little bit too much as they get older. If you are trying to decide between living in rural Healdsburg or downtown Healdsburg, check out my other video, which I'll put a link up here, which covers that subject. As anyone who's searching for a high-end home in downtown Healdsburg is also aware, there are not many options for a modern, newly remodeled home that has all the high-end finishes of somewhere like Mill District. They do exist, but they just don't come up for sale that often. Maybe once a year if you're lucky. So that in itself makes Mill District Healdsburg appealing to a lot of people. Just there is product available. So what about the homes? What are they like? And how many are there? So there are going to be 43 homes in the first phase, of which approximately half have sold. These homes come in different formats. You've got the canopy penthouses that will be on the 4th floor, the flats, which are basically 1, 2 and 3 bedroom apartments spread across floors 1 to 3. To be honest, I'm not sure why they're called flats, but certainly as a Brit, I find it strangely comforting because in the UK we call all apartments flats. Finally, there are the garden homes, which are on the ground floor and are the only 2-storey units in the development. So what are the penthouses like? Of the 5 penthouses, I think 2 have been sold so far. They all feature large wraparound 1,000 square foot stone terraces and luxurious indoor, outdoor kitchens, dining and lounge areas. And the penthouses have got 3 bedroom and 3.5 bath, and vary in size from 3,200 square feet to, I think it's 3,600 square feet of indoor space, and then about 2,000 square foot of outdoor space. I also love the fact that they have walk-in pantries and separate small offices, which is really handy, particularly the number of people who are now working from home. And as you would expect, for homes that are just over 3,000 square feet and with a $7.5 million price tag, they will be finished with sliding glass walls, extensive stone countertops and floors, and all the toys that you'd expect of a modern home, including the ultimate in temperature controlled wine features, motorized window coverings, automated lighting, literally everything you'd expect from a modern high-tech home. So what are the garden homes like? Garden homes, as I said, are the only ones that are spread over 2 floors, with the main living area and the primary bedroom on the downstairs level, and then upstairs are the additional 2 bedrooms with ensuite bathrooms and a den/office space at the top of the stairs. And the indoor space is just over 3,000 square feet, with the outdoor space being, I think it's about 600 square feet, so a little smaller than the penthouses. And what about the flats? How many bedrooms do they have? Well, with the flats, there are a total of 8 3-bedroom flats, 13 2-bedroom flats, and I think it's 11 1-bedroom flats. And there are also 4 studios, but these have now all sold. And the flats are a mixture of, garden flats on the ground floor, and also flats on levels 2 and 3. I think the most prized ones are probably the ones that face towards the heritage redwoods, whereas the less desirable ones are probably the ones that are sort of tucked further away at the back. The 3-bed flats have a couple of configurations, but are generally under 3,000 square feet with 3.5 baths, as well as a separate office. And they also have, an outdoor space of, I think it's about 500 square feet. These are priced at approximately 4.5 million. The 2-bed flats, again, they've got a couple of configurations, but are, 2-bed, 2.5 baths, spread across approximately, 1,900 square feet of living space. And then I think it's like less than 400 square feet of outdoor space. And then these are priced at, I think it's like 3.5 million. And then the 1-bedroom flats also have a couple of configurations which vary from, I think it's 1,000 square feet to 1,800 square feet of indoor space, but less than, I think it's like 300 square foot of outdoor space. And these are priced at 2.8 million to 3.1 million, depending on whether they're on the garden flats or on floors 2 and 3. And then the studios, which I said have all sold out. They're pretty small, 800 square feet, with a Murphy bed that comes down in the living room, and a kitchen, bath, and I think it's just 100 square feet of outdoor space. And those are, were approximately $1 million. To be honest, I think the true success of the project will depend on whether Mill District becomes, an isolated high-end luxury development that is cut off from the rest of downtown, or if it's truly becomes another sort of, high-end neighborhood within downtown. I think, only time will tell. So I guess the big question is Mill District for you? There's no question that Mill District is a really exciting project for Healdsburg, and I hope you can see I'm personally, really excited about it. And it's not just about the cycling, and it's definitely a development which is setting a new high bar for the price of living in downtown Healdsburg. I mean, nothing has ever sold over $2,000 a square foot in downtown before. I mean, if you are looking for a place in downtown, you are either, you're likely to either absolutely love them or hate them. There's no question that the homes will be spectacular aesthetically and functionally. There will always be question marks about whether they can justify these high prices, but the experience of living here will definitely be different from anything else in Healdsburg. I love the fact that the lifestyle is centered around, wine, food and cycling, which is definitely a big part of, what Healdsburg is all about. The question is, could you get a similar experience from buying a $4.5 million place in downtown? I mean, the answer is almost certainly. With Mill District Healdsburg, the experience and the community will be very much delivered to you on a plate. Whereas if you buy or even build a place in downtown, you may have to work a little harder for it. So if you are interested in buying either a house in downtown Healdsburg or a place at Mill District Healdsburg, please do get in touch. I can definitely help guide you through the options and the pros and cons of both. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to get the next one. Until the next video, go well.